What is going on today, TNA fan man? This is your boy Tay.
It's your boy Ant.
We're TNA, and man, we about to get at it with another video. We're gonna be reacting to Death Battle.
Between who, Tay?
So in this week's Death Battle, we have Deku from My Hero Academia and Asta from Black Clover. Two rookies who never give up, basically.
Yeah, personally, I don't watch Black Clover. I watch My Hero. So
Something's wrong with this man.
I don't know much about Asta, but I know everything about Deku.
He's a hardcore Marvel fan, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
Alright, but we about to get at it.
Let's do it.
This episode of Death Battle is sponsored by Mint Mobile and BetterHelp.
Wait, Rooster's Teeth is involved in this?
Deku, My Hero Academia's super student straight out of UA High. Asta, the anti-magical ass kicker from Black Clover. Though you may be born with the same gifts as your peers, there is nothing stopping you from achieving your dreams. As long as you're a fictional character in a fantasy world. I mean, as long as you've got your friends by your side, you'll pack a hell of a punch. He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick. And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
I'm not doing that. Never mind.
Izuku Midoriya wanted only one thing from life. To be a beacon of hope, just like his idol, the #1 ranked superhero in Japan, All Might. Too bad he was born a freak with no powers. You heard right. This is like a reverse X-Men thing where 80% of the population gets rad superpowers, or quirks as they're called, while the remaining fifth are stuck as basic bitches, or as his spiky-haired bully Bakugo called him, Deku. That's a pun on the Japanese word Dekunobu, meaning good for nothing. Persevering despite his basic bitchedness, Midoriya got the chance to prove his quirkless heroic mettle against this giant sludge monster, much to the surprise of one particular almighty onlooker. His body secretly decaying from a horrific injury, All Might needed to find the one who would inherit his all-powerful quirk. And All Might didn't want just anybody. The hero world was filled with glory seekers in it for fame and money. All Might wanted someone whose body moved on its own to save someone.
Didn't
he saw exactly that in young Midoriya, and gave him one of the most powerful quirks in the world. One for all. That was the problem. Even after woken up from last enchant, the recoil from even one punch would shatter all the bones in his arm. So he trained to be able to handle his gift at the superhero school of his dreams, UA High. And that's when he decided to own the name used as a cudgel against him for so many years. Turns out, Deku can also be an abbreviation for Dekuru, someone who can do anything. Exactly the opposite of Dekunobu. One for All allows Deku to release absolutely absurd amounts of...
I want to see something, man. He got everything, man. He got One for All, for Jin, which I don't know, Danger Sense, Black Whip. I'm gonna let you keep watching. I'm just reading off these things. I already know what hero he's describing in Marvel, but I'm gonna just...
These are probably moves from the game, though.
Strength from different parts of his body, with super moves named after U.S. cities and states. Deku still can't access all of his power safely, though. Using 100% will quickly destroy his body, which is why he learned to distribute his strength evenly across his body, a technique known as full cowling. This lets him increase his speed and durability as well, making him more all-rounded, and shifting focus to his own interpretation of One for All inspired by his pal Ida, Shoot Style, where he pulls out a Glock and blows your brains out. Okay, not really, but in keeping with One for All's rabbit theme, he trades All Might's signature punches for kicks. My version's better. You ever seen Rabbit vs. Gun? I have, and I know how it plays out. Considering the much higher muscle mass of a human's legs, Shoot Style allowed Deku to output even more power while giving his arms a break. A break from a break. And despite being a classic melee build, Deku can fight at range by punching powerful gusts of air and even precisely aim them with specially designed gloves. Deku has an encyclopedic knowledge of quirks and is always analyzing their strengths and weaknesses mid-battle, even if he does sound a little weird. Despite only barely getting accepted in the first place, Deku quickly became one of Class 1A's most dependable fighters. Because, somehow these students are constantly getting drafted into literal wars against murderous supervillains. Midoriya's successes in battle against ruthless criminals like Stain, Muscular, and Overhaul came much to his old friend's chagrin. Where Bakugo was a child prodigy, he now
Technically,
found
he's
himself
an anti-hero.
overshadowed by his hard-working
He's a
rival,
vigilante,
and the two
I
would
think.
use their mutual respect
Yeah,
and animosity
that's right.
They
to
actually did a
motivate each
manga
other to get
called My
stronger.
Hero Vigilante, I
Classic
think.
frenemies. They're only
Stains in
solving
that
their
one, I think
problems
it's
by
that one.
pounding the living tar out of each other. Luckily for him, Deku soon learned that living tar pounding wasn't the only thing he could do. Turns out, One for All did not originate with All Might. It had been passed down 8 times until it arrived at Deku, with each inheritance also carrying the previous user's natural quirk as well. Like Black Whip, which lets him manifest crazy long and strong energy
Okay, I don't
tendrils
know
to
about
tie
that.
enemies up
Okay,
and
hold on.
swing
You're
around the
behind.
city,
Hold
or
on.
shoot one out of his mouth, just like our girl Fruppy. And Danger
Okay.
Sense, which gives him a minor reactive precognition.
Who does that remind you of?
He's Spider-Man.
Ah.
Not even a reach. The mangaka is like the biggest Spidey fan ever. He can also produce a smoke screen to mask his presence, float
That's the
in midair,
exercise.
or store kinetic energy over time with Fa Like that.
If I knew how to edit
By
like
storing
that,
up enough,
then I
he can
would
even
have done
match
that
All
shit.
Might's
but
max power without any recoil to boot. Strong enough to change the weather and create city block-sized tornadoes with a single punch. And he's even stronger with his newest quirk, Gear Shift, which allows him to increase the speed of an object anytime he touches it. In conjunction with the power of All for One, he can use this to warp reality itself. Deku can go toe-to-toe with arch-villains like Shigaraki, who's fast enough to react to and catch laser beams with his bare hands. But nothing could prepare him for All Might's archenemy, the shadowy leader of the League of Villains, All for One. All Might only ever showed his young pupil kindness and support, but that couldn't change the absolutely crushing pressure Deku felt at every moment. Even classically trained dickhead Bakugo came to help his teammate out when he needed it, like when they teamed up to share One for All.
I've seen them
and
movies
punch
That was
a
a good movie.
size
That was
hole
really
in the
good.
clouds 24 miles high. Just goes to show that even One for All isn't a one-man army. Deku's true
That whole
strength
scene
comes
was
from his teamwork
crazy.
between himself and his friends. And with their help, Deku will surely become that beacon of hope he dreamt about as a child. One hero for all mankind. This episode is sponsored by Mint Mobile. This holiday season, the best deal in wireless can
They sell
only be
Mint
found at
Mobile?
Mint Mobile. Right now, when you switch to Mint Mobile and buy any 3-month plan, you'll get another 3 months for free. As the first company to sell premium wireless service online only, Mint Mobile lets you order and activate from home with eSIM, while saving tons on phone plans starting at just $15 a month.
Oh, it's for
We all know
phones.
the
Okay.
holidays can be a huge money sink. In my case, my anti-squirrel lawn laser system won't insure itself, so Mint Mobile's buy 3 months, get 3 months free plan is perfect to cut down costs. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and switch easily and effortlessly with eSIM. Or if you need a new device for a limited time, get 6 months for free service when you buy a select device and plan. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. For a limited time, buy any 3-month Mint Mobile plan and get
Just
3
maybe
more
it's
months
not right.
free by going to mintmobile.com/deathbattle. That's mintmobile.com/deathbattle. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/deathbattle. Magic!
Yeah, okay, this is
You
the
know
real
it,
one.
you love it, and in the
It's the
world
real
of
one.
Black
Just
Clover,
comfortable.
it doesn't come from a box you bought at a tacky West Hollywood costume shop. Everyone's got it.
accurate.
Mana is the source of all magic, a supernatural energy found in the air and in living beings. Except living beings whose names are Asta. Not only was the young Asta an orphan abandoned by his mother at a church as a baby, he was born with a mutation that prevents him from having any mana to speak of. Well, neither do I, and you don't hear me crying about it. Yes, you do, all of the time. But Asta had a dream.
What's that, Powers?
Despite his lack of magic,
No,
he
it's
and his
not
best
Ruby.
friend Yuno promised
It's
each
not
other
Ruby
one of
once.
them would rise to the throne of the
What would
greatest
that be?
military
Super
position in the
sweet.
land, the Wizard King. Wizard King?
I
Really,
respect it.
guys? Sometimes they call it Magic Emperor, but we all know what they mean. So, he dedicated himself to getting swole as all hell in a world of nerds. He would be its lone jock god, shoving every last wizard into a locker until they crowned him king. But huge, frightening pectorals on a tiny, screaming goblin child weren't enough on its
There
own.
is this thing
He needed
about him
something
that I've
powerful
been
enough to
hearing that
shut
he
down
just
his
keeps coming
opponent's
back
magic.
every season.
He
more
needed
fucking
the
more
5-leaf
Yeah.
clover
That's why people
grimoire.
aren't like
Essentially
going
a
back to
book
it
of
much.
spells. A grimoire will choose
Now,
its
I actually
user
follow the
and float
manga,
beside alongside their wielder at
they're at their
all
last
times.
chapter. They
And
actually
Asta
did
was
slim them
lucky
down a
enough to
little bit.
receive the Uno reverse card of Grimoires. The 5-leaf Clover can harness the power of anti-magic, which will literally nullify the effects of other magic spells.
Oh,
Almost like
nullify
wizard
things. That is a
kryptonite.
good power,
Let the
man.
locker stuffing commence. Get nerds! It wasn't long before Asta was accepted into one of the 9 squads of Clover Kingdom's Magic Knights, the Black Bulls, filled with lazy drunkards, antisocial otakus, and literal sociopaths. My kind of people!
that part is
Mostly,
wild.
but much like with Asta, you
Diverse.
shouldn't judge a grimoire by its cover. And soon they were all working together and kicking ass like a family should. Asta harnesses the power of anti-magic by summoning swords imbued with it from the grimoire. Normally, these swords would quickly drain the mana from anyone foolish enough to wield them, but Asta does not have any mana, turning his greatest weakness into a one-of-a-kind strength. He's got his classic Demon Slayer, an enormous greatsword which cuts through spells with its edge and deflects them with its flail. Or the Demon Dweller, which can also absorb and copy magic, then toss it right back to sender. I think my personal favorite is the more complex Demon Destroyer, which severs the relationship between a spell's cause and effect, countering the effects of its magic. This could result in anything from healing a village that was inflicted with poison to preventing reincarnation. Yeah, okay, some of these can get a little heady. I personally prefer keeping it simple, like using anti-magic telekinesis to surf on
At
your
the
sword
beginning, he
through the
couldn't fly.
sky.
So they have
It's worth
drones that
noting
people
that
can
these
fly,
swords
but
are
you
made
couldn't fly
specifically
drones
for
in the
countering
beginning,
magical
so-
attacks and sources of
I
mana.
figured, so
The
you
swords
have
will act
magic,
as though
yeah.
blunted when striking non-magical foes, more akin to giant clubs than actual blades. Not entirely inconsistent with real-life greatswords. But none of that's even close to as cool as his deadliest sword, the Demon Slasher, a katana
I
as
ain't gonna lie,
black
man.
as the
I
pits
just
of
think
hell and
katanas are
twice as
cool.
badass.
They
This
are.
one
They
actually
are.
does cut
Yeah,
like
this
a
one's my
sword, but
favorite, man.
it's complicated. It lets Asta actually select what he does and does not want to cut, only affecting his target while leaving anything else unharmed. Okay, at this point, isn't that just magic? Magic with a
Yeah.
loophole. And
Yeah.
he studied the blade long enough to become a master swordsman to boot. Not in the real life sense, in the anime sense. He can spin himself like a tornado to deflect magic spells, thrust forward at top speed like a charging bull, launch a barrage of anti-magic projectiles, and even channel anti-magic into his swords
The
to
thing about these
vastly
death battle
increase their
videos is that
size. Well, while he may be no good with mana, he has
The
learned to detect
contenders,
ki, because
they're
of
awesome
course,
in their
the
own
life
right,
force
but
existing
it's
in all
still.
things. Asta
I
can
feel like it's
detect
just hard
hidden
to
opponents
determine
and
which one
even
will
predict their
win.
movements
That's what I
ahead
was
of
just
time,
about to
as long as he's
ask, or
fast
say
enough to
something,
react.
because
With such crazy
deals with
powers,
magic.
Asta was taking
Deku
on
deals
threats
with-
like the Eye of the Midnight
He doesn't deal with
Sun, the
magic.
Devil's
That's what I'm saying,
Everett,
so-
and the Dark Triad.
I don't know, but I'm still rooting
never
for
enough
Asta.
blockers. Too bad
I don't
for
think it
Asta,
works.
though. He had one serious inner demon. Literally, housed within the 5-leaf Clover grimoire was Liba, a demon exiled from hell for completely lacking
pretty
magical
insane.
powers, and who just so happened to get adopted by Asta's mother. Until he got possessed by a different demon and killed her. Vowing vengeance on all demonkind, Liba manifested anti-magic from his hatred as a way to kick their asses, which gave him and Asta a lot of common ground, despite the whole, mom murder thing. In fact, the two became true brothers and formed an unstoppable duo. Liba can actually fully merge with Asta for a
You've seen
massive
Naruto,
power
right?
boost that lasts up to 5 minutes.
Okay, so
at the cost
basically,
of leaving Asta nearly
People
powerless
do
for the next
say
half
Black
hour.
Clover and Naruto share some similarities.
I mean, I'll take it if I get to be
In which
strong
way?
enough to slice
So
buildings to
Naruto,
pieces,
he has a
obliterate
demon
huge
inside of
chunks
him
of
called
earth,
the
and
Night.
tear the
Well,
most
it's not a
powerful
demon,
demons
I would
apart.
say a
Come on,
fox
goddamn,
spirit,
I'm
yeah.
the
That's a fox
fuck boy,
spirit.
okay?
They make it along.
Even characters earlier in the
Asta
series
has
like
demons
Napoleon had
inside
magic
him.
capable of completely
Naruto
vaporizing the
fox
entire
spirit,
Clover Kingdom in a single attack. And demons that
Yes,
Asta has fought
yes,
since
technically.
then, Dante
I don't
and
know.
Sephiroth
I don't
are
know.
leagues
I haven't seen
stronger.
them in a minute.
Hell, screw all these demon forms and anti-magic powers. Asta's body is so incredibly well trained, he dodged a beam of light while sleeping. As in, he was asleep, and the force of his sneeze pushed his head out of the way of a beam of
I saw
light.
the anime. I did not
Lightspeed
see.
sneezes, everyone.
I did not see that
And
happen.
Despite his headstrong and irritating
So one can
personality,
deflect
aka
lasers and one
screaming
can
at the
sneeze
top
to
of his
dodge them.
lungs as often as possible. Asta's an intelligent fighter who has leveraged his skill against far more experienced foes. But he wouldn't be anywhere without the ragtag band of deviants he calls friends. With them at his side, there's no way he won't climb the ranks to take the Wizard King's throne. Especially with Yuno pushing them both to get stronger.
Unlike other classic shonen rivalries, this one isn't tainted by antagonism. They truly want what's best for each other, even if they're competing for the same throne.
Yuno's gonna need all the luck he can get, because even if Asta never gets mana of his own, his true magic is never given up.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Life can be overwhelming, and many people are burned out without even knowing it.
Symptoms can include lack of motivation, feeling helpless or trapped, detachment, fatigue, and more.
Working on a show like Death Battle every week definitely wipes me and Wiz out once in a while. Remember that one time you had to research Madara's 5D chess plan and you keeled over during the show?
All too well. Thanks for reminding
I'm trying to get used
No
to
problem,
it.
best buddy.
We associate burnout with
that's
work, but that's not the only cause. Any of our roles in life can lead us to feel burned out, and BetterHelp Online Therapy wants to remind you to prioritize yourself. Talking with someone can help you figure out what's causing stress in your life.
BetterHelp is customized
What's causing
online
stress in your
therapy
life?
that offers video, phone, and even live chat
Yep.
sessions with your therapist. So you
They
don't
did
have to
put
see
one more
anyone
after
on
this,
camera if you don't
yeah.
want to.
It can be more affordable than in-person therapy, and you
just
can
got
be
off.
matched with a therapist in under 48 hours.
Death Battle viewers get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com.
I want to try one. I want to try this
That's
one day.
BetterHelp.com.
Like if they give us like a promo for videos in general. I just want to try it, just see if it works.
All right, the combatants are set.
man,
We've run the
ready,
data
man.
through all possibilities.
Ready?
It's time for a Death Battle!
I don't think this matchup works. I don't know.
Sword that big? He's gotta be crazy strong. I'm gonna have to rely on more than just my power to take him down.
Just gotta hit him really hard.
Let's see, brain, spirit, man. Deku's the brain, so I see the spirit.
Man, this guy didn't even look a run for his money.
Aren't swords supposed to be sharp?
He's choosing not to cut you.
No, it's one sword where he chooses. He's doing.
Get that book out of his hand.
But he's handling the
Dweller.
both, though. That's the thing. I know it's the dweller.
Oh my god, did they for real have him do the three sword style?
Now it's my turn.
That's a good fucking thing.
Are you not using magic? What kind of magic emperor would I be if I can't
See,
be
they're not
like
used to
this?
fighting each other.
That's the point of death battles, though. That just looks like a Venom technical, though.
Yeah, it does.
Detroit Smash! Detroit
God.
Smash!
Hey,
Nah, I still think he gonna win this. He got the katana. Okay, let's see it.
I don't know what Detroit is, but I've had enough of it. I'm ending this quick!
What's the bill? Wait, did he cut the bill?
Hit me with all you've got, because I'm never going down!
Okay, hold on.
Deku has a cape now?
I think so.
No use not going all out anymore. I just gotta hit him really hard. You wanted my best? Here it is! 1,000,000%!
Yeah!
Hold on, hold on. Shut, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on.
I did it.
hold on. It's over.
Take that, Detroit.
Why you? Wait, what?
Poor Deku. He tried his best, but Asta just shoved him into that great big locker in the sky.
Both Deku and Asta were fairly evenly matched melee fighters without any specific abilities to give one an easy edge over the other. Though, to be fair, the variety of quirks Deku inherited from past users of One For All did make him more versatile and unpredictable.
Plus, quirks are biological mutations, not connected to some supernatural energy source like mana. So Asta's anti-magic powers were basically useless here.
And Deku was generally a smarter and more tactical fighter, but against Asta's incredible might, this time brawn beat brains.
Let's crunch some numbers! Deku's greatest feat of strength was splitting that enormous cloud formation with Bakugo.
By measuring the size of the island and comparing it to the clouds above, we can determine they dispersed over 63 trillion kilograms of water.
That's the weight of the Great Pyramid of Giza. 12,000 of them!
And required an energy of nearly 80 teratons of TNT per punch.
Let's compare that to Asta. But Tony's spell was going to be strong enough to vaporize a country the size of the Clover Kingdom.
We can use this map from the manga to estimate the size of Clover Kingdom to be about 500 kilometers in diameter, about half the length of Great Britain. Vaporizing a country of that size would require an energy of over 480 teratons of TNT, over 6 times greater than Deku's punch.
While Asta uses anti-magic, it isn't an automatic counter. It needs to be comparable in strength to the spell it's combating. And Asta's gotten way stronger since.
Asta was also quicker. Sure, scaling to Shigaraki would give Deku roughly light speed reaction time.
But Asta could dodge light in his sleep, and that's his base form. Even before transforming with Lipa to get way faster.
And since Deku and Asta's precognitive abilities more or less matched each other, it was only a matter of time before Asta simply overwhelmed him.
Especially since Deku has struggled in the past against faster opponents. Sure, Deku was smarter, but if he literally didn't have enough time to come up with a plan of attack before getting hammered, his brains were wasted.
Deku's tactical brilliance and harem-scarum tenacity definitely gave his opponent a run for his money, but Asta's raw power, blinding speed, and deadlier weaponry spelled the end for All Might's pupil.
Deku gave it his all, and I wish he had won. Hasta la vista.
The winner is Asta.
Alright.
Hey, if you...
Called it. But that was actually good.
Yeah.
I don't. Actually, they did another death battle. It was with Saitama from One Punch Man
Versus Superman?
Huh?
Versus Superman?
No, versus Popeye.
Who?
Popeye. You know the cartoon guy, the sailor.
Popeye?
Yes.
Interesting.
Guess
I can see why.
Nah, man, guess who won?
Popeye.
Oh my god, yes.
Popeye is indestructible.
Well, in cartoon standards.
That's all he's in though. So he's indestructible.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But man, that was actually a good death battle video.
Yeah.
We will definitely look into some new ones in the future. And I'm a throw. This is gonna be a challenge video, man.
Oh, whose bet wins.
See whose bet wins, and then we do a part 2 of what the loser has to do.
Okay.
So, potential challenge video. Man, but that was it. That was our reaction to Death Battle Black Clover versus My Hero Academia. That's...
Who do you guys think was going to win? Leave us a comment.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
Yeah.
We'll get the next one. We'll see you then.